Hey everybody, Wolver Monkey here. Picked up a sweet little game, thought I'd share it with you guys. It is called Death in the Dungeon by New Icon from Crush Pop Productions. I have the PDF here. You can get the PDF of the rules for a mere $2.99 on Wargame Vault or on the Crush Pop site itself. I'll throw some links in the description should you choose to do so, but it's a really fun little game. It's small footprint. It's a skirmish style dungeon party versus dungeon party kind of game. He said later on they're going to be coming out with more stuff for it, and it hints in the back of the rules about progressive playing where you continue to use the same party and your party gets better and stronger, kind of like Mordheim or Frostgrave kind of thing. But he's going to come out with stronger rules for that soon. But this is just the base game for now. So I bought the PDF, put it in a binder, so we'll go over this and then I'll show you a little bit of how it plays. Not a lot of pages to the rules, which is fine, but I'm good with that. I'll have to probably do this on an angle, so the glare's killing you guys. But it starts off, it gives you an introduction to the game, introduction to the world. Everything you need to get started. Obviously you need the rules. Dice, it uses standard set of polyhedral dice, so if you have D&D dice laying around, you're hooked up. Miniatures, you can use whatever you want. It is 28 mil. I don't see why you couldn't use 15 mil. Just change measurements a bit. But I think that would work as well. Obviously a tape measure, tokens. Tokens wise, I didn't really use any. Maybe keep track of health, something like that. Party roster sheet, which is included with the rule book, and you also have a another sheet that's included with it to keep track of all your loot and any notes you want to make. And of course a battlefield. Now the game is made to be played on a 1x1 or a 2x2 area depending upon the scenario. I'm currently using a 2x2 and it plays very fast. You could probably once you get used to the rules, which should only take you about 2 or 3 turns, maybe 2 turns to get used to the rules, you could probably do like a mini campaign in an evening, afternoon, couple hours easy. You could probably burn out a couple of these games. They don't take that long to play. So if you got a friend over or your significant other, or you want to do some solo stuff, totally possible to do like 3, 4, 5 games in an hour or two. Good. It is fun though. Okay, it just gives you tabletop miniatures, so it's basically telling you can use any miniatures you want. I solo played one game, and I'll show you in a minute, but I used some painted stuff from my Warlord army and some Mage Knight guys for my heroes. Goes over how to build your party. You buy your party with gold, and they're saying that total value should be between 35 to 85. My party that I built was 78 points, and it allowed me for only 3 heroes. So if you want a bigger party, you might have to go up on the gold costs. So to build your party, you first pick your race, and your race determines your movement. Example, humans can move 6, dark elves 8, dragonkin 4, and then it has your gold costs on the side for that race. Your class will choose your power level. That gives you your power level. So a page is only a D4, a rogue is a D6, a sorcerer is a D8, blah blah, all the way up to a god hand, which rolls a D20 for their power level. That's what you use to attack. Armor, you buy armor for your guys, and that is their toughness. You get leather, chainmail, or plate mail. And then weapons, you buy weapons for your tunes, and it'll tell you whether it's melee or ranged, if it's ranged or close combat, the damage for that weapon, and the gold cost for that. If you choose to have a sorcerer, here's the arcana and a list of spells that you can do. You can only buy 2 spells, and they're only good once per game. So if you are going to have a sorcerer in your party, I strongly suggest buying him some weapons. How to enter the dungeon, setting up the game, how to play the game. Initiative in this isn't one die, it is all the power level die of your party rolled together, accumulated total, versus the opposing party's power level dies, accumulated total. Activation, whoever won initiative goes first, and then it goes back and forth, back and forth. Each side activates a single miniature until everybody's gone. Let's see, when you activate your miniature, you can move it, attack, and perform a single spell if you're a sorcerer in any order. So you can move first, attack first, whatever is convenient. Let's see, movement, straight up just measuring. If you do a charge, you get a +1 to your damage. Now though, I will go over how to do an attack. It's pretty cool. I like the way the attack goes. I have this board set up here. This is a 2x2, and this is set up for the free solo campaign game called Legions of Death. In this particular campaign, you can get this off the CPOP website for free, but in this particular one, you have a party. They're going after a treasure which is guarded by 8 undead skeletons, 4 swordsmen, 4 archers, and once somebody pops the treasure at the end, a boss figure shows up by the entrance, and then your party has to fight the boss, and within 3 turns, if they don't do it, the dungeon crumbles and begins to shake and crumble, and once you start fighting the boss, you get 3 turns to defeat him and make it out, I think, or it starts to crumble after. I don't remember exactly. I played it a couple weeks ago. But anyway, movement is standard movement. I'll show you the character sheet real quick too. So this is what a roster sheet looks like. I put a little extra notes because I already played this, so that's why there's some damage here. Their points costs I put on the side. But you have their name, their race, their class, their health, what armor they're wearing, what weapons they're using, any items they're carrying, any gold that they may have found or looted off of the corpses. I also put the other notes, like human moves 6. He's a rogue, so his power level is a d6. He's wearing leather, so his toughness is a d6. He's using dual daggers, which gives you a d4. So I had Bob the human rogue, Thelma the elven paladin, and Fred the elven barbarian. So that gives you an idea of what the sheet looks like. And down here I had the skeletons, and I put the notes in there too for their damage and their movement. But that's what a character sheet looks like. So movement is, like I said, it's straight up movement. This is Bob. I just use Mage Knight guys because I have a lot of miniatures for armies. I don't have a lot of character miniatures, but I'm going to fix that. So I was using Mage Knight guys for my heroes, and that's the undead guys that they had to fight. And then the main baddie, I used another Mage Knight miniature. I thought he looked pretty cool for a baddie, for a boss baddie, but I digress. So movement, straight up movement. So Bob would just move 6. So you can just move Bob where you want. Combat is the cool part of this game. Movement's kind of boring, but combat is the cool part. For combat, let me throw 2 guys together real quick. Let's put the paladin here, and we'll say she has to fight this skeleton. Alright, so the way you do that for combat is, that is Thelma. Thelma is a paladin, so her power level is a d12. And the skeleton, in this one they're already set in the scenario. He has a d6 for a weapon and only a d4 toughness. So to attack somebody, grab some dice real quick. Need a D4 and a D6. And what does she get as a paladin? She gets a D8, and her toughness is also a D8. So there's a D8. Alright. So the way you handle combat in Death in the Dungeon is pretty unique. It's not just a simple defeat this target number. There is a target number involved, but the way you go about getting it is pretty sweet. So we'll say for this instance that Thelma is going to attack Skeleton. First you roll the target's toughness die. So the skeleton's toughness die we said was a meager D4. So we roll that. What do we get? We got a 2. So the target's toughness is a 2, and then Thelma rolls her power die, which is a D8, and she got a 7. 7 is higher than a 2, so Thelma scored a hit on the skeleton. So what's cool about this is every time they attack each other, you roll the toughness die, so that target number may change. Same thing when the skeleton attacks her. Her toughness is a D8. So right now her toughness is a 6. Skeleton gets a D6 to attack. 6. So he actually scored a hit on her. Now maybe the next round her toughness is only a 4. And a 1. So you get the idea. Every time you guys do an attack, somebody attacks each other, and this is the same with ranged weapons as well, you're going to roll that character's toughness die, which is based on what armor they're wearing, to get a random number. What I like about this, instead of being just a solid static number, is it kind of represents that particular character trying to duck and dodge the oncoming attack. So obviously if they rolled higher, they did a better job at dodging it, and if they roll lower, obviously they're not doing so good of a job at dodging it. So it makes it kind of fun, because even if you have, like I said, hers is a D8 and this guy's only rolling a D6 to hit her, so there's a chance there, 2 chances, that he's not going to be able to hit her at all. Okay, although it did say in the rules that if you roll the max number for your die, it's an automatic hit regardless of what the die is. But still, there's a higher chance of not being able to hit her. So I thought that was kind of fun. It adds a little more uncertainty to the game and the outcome of the battles, instead of saying, okay, every time this guy hits her, he needs to get this number, and there's no way that guy can get that number. You never know. It depends on what you roll for the character's toughness. I really enjoyed that aspect of the game. So it works the same way for ranged. You roll target's toughness, and then the archer would roll their attack die and try and beat the target's toughness. It played really fast. When I played this scenario, and it was the first time I ever played, I want to say I played the whole game by myself in like maybe a little over 15 to 20 minutes. So that's not bad at all. And that's me still trying to figure out and understand how everything works. Obviously, if I play it again next time, it'll go a lot quicker. So that's pretty sweet. Like I said, you guys can get in a whole bunch of games in one afternoon. The main rule book does come with 5 scenarios. You get Slay the Opposition, 4 Pillars, Gold Rush, Crypt of the Dead, and Assassination. So you can literally play all 5 of those in an afternoon really easily. And it tells you everything you need to set up and how to play it. Definitely check these guys out. Definitely check the game out if you're into like a fun, simple skirmish game that you guys can kill an afternoon with, or you don't have a lot of time to game maybe, you know, but you got the Jones and you want to play something, but you don't have a lot of time to play it. This is definitely something that fits that niche. If a buddy of yours comes over and you're waiting for the rest of the people to come over to play some big board game, but you got an hour to kill or some time to kill, you can definitely throw this down. This is something you could play on a lunch break. What else can I say? Yeah, that's about it. That's all I got for you right now. Hopefully you guys will check this out and give New Icon and Crush Pop some love. So I'll put the links in the description. And happy gaming. See you guys next time. Thank you for watching.